Hi everyone, welcome back to the London Football Show. The Euros being upon us, obviously, first game being tonight, so had to do a preview for it. I always love the international tournament summers. They're the best summers, World Cups, Euros, and one of them's this year. So let's get into it. I'm gonna start off with us predicting who's gonna win the tournament. That's the ultimate question at the end of the day. I'll start.
Okay.
I'll start, and I'm gonna go with France to win the Euros. I just feel like the winners they've got in their squad, obviously the Euros is the one thing sort of missing from this group of players, or like the core. Because obviously they've got new players as well coming through. But that for the Griezmanns, the Mbappes, they've won the World Cup, so this will sort of complete the set for them. They've even won the Nations League, which small tournament, but they've won that anyway. So yeah, I think the know-how, and obviously Mbappe is going to Real Madrid now. He's free from the shackles of PSG and obviously not sort of winning the Champions League there. So I feel like now he's got his move. I think he's gonna be up for it now because I've seen that PSG being benched. Obviously, a lot of last season benched or being brought off early. He didn't look quite the same Mbappe, to be honest. And I still believe when everyone's at their sort of peak level, even though he's not in the running for this year's Ballon d'Or, I think when everyone's at their best, I think he's the best player in the world. So I'm gonna go for France to win the Euros this year. Anyone can go next.
Well, mine's pretty simple. Um, if I can only pick one, it'd be England. I think they will do it. I think they will. I like the way you said France. I've had a little look. If they win their group, they play the runners up with Group F, so they could face the Czech Republic or Portugal. But I think England purely and simply because I think they've got the experience now, and Southgate's been brave in his selection and has added three or four young players that have done well this year in the Premier League, who I think will not be too intimidated by playing for the national team in a tournament. And I think if you can get them involved somehow, I think the experience of the core team for England, they should be able to get to the final. And I think it's England's time now to win it. But there's a few things obviously that worries me, but it would be like that for any team. But I just think England on paper should get to the semi-final, and then it's anyone's. And I'd like to see them win. I'd like to see England win because I think out of like the teams like Spain, France, Italy, maybe Portugal a little bit, not so much the Netherlands, but all them teams have won things in the last sort of 10, 20 years, So I just think it's England's time. So if you're pushing me for just only pick one, and hopefully we'll come back and do our outsiders, I'm going for England.
Oh yeah, we can add that to the agenda as well. Forgot about the dark horses. Yeah. If England win, I'll be the first one buying the England kit. I always said I'm not buying an England kit until they win it. I don't want the kits to remind me of the failures, me getting my hopes up for England. So Euro 2021, I was there when Luke Shaw was scoring that goal. The England kit was in my head, like, yeah, I'm gonna be off to the shop, but nah, it didn't happen in the end. Resumption.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the same as Sion. I think France should win it. Um, on paper, but also the form, the players. You got a few, La Liga winners in that squad, Champions League winners as well. Got a few experienced players. I think if you just look at the Euros or in just international trophies or competitions, lost at the final hurdle in the World Cup. So obviously they want to put their name out, say they're serious. Also, kind of give a bit of a heads up to the international teams outside of Europe that they mean serious when it comes to the next World Cup. Because obviously France, they are one of the biggest heavyweights. Um, if you look at the previous Euro, lost out on penalties. Mbappe looking to do redemption as well. Should have won that game, bottled it to Switzerland. Um, Even the previous Euros prior to that, 2016, lost it in the final in their own backyard. So I think third time lucky as well, maybe. I think Deschamps got this. I think the team have the winner's mentality. Obviously, they don't have the same players as before. Kante's not back in the squad, so I'm quite happy to see that. Hopefully, he finds his form again and excels in in the Euros. Mbappe, I think, is going to be the biggest spotlight this summer, especially with the move now. It might sound a bit silly, but I wouldn't be surprised if he goes on to win the competition just purely because he's now officially listed as a Real Madrid player. I just feel like the heritage, the champions, the cojones will just all be within him. However, I do want to mention Mr. Datson's winner, England. On paper, I fully agree. They are the best team. For position, almost England come out on top. There's very few players that you can argue would get over the England squad, maybe the Mbappes. Again, like apart from Mbappe, I can't really think of any world class players. People might say De Bruyne, but when it comes to the international stage, he goes missing.
I'll start deep. I'll start Saliba. Like Saliba, can you believe he's going to be starting on the bench for France when I think he walks into the England starting 11? But he seems to prefer
Yeah.
Konate and
It'd
Upamecano
be
in
it,
Deschamps.
it'd be interesting to see then on our predictions on that if England and France can avoid each other and meet in the final, because then that would be a real test of sort of two nations that one's had like not much joy in winning anything. France have won things in the past. France has got the best player in the world. England have got overall more player. It'd be quiet, but I don't know. It just depends on that combination of once we get through the group stage and we could see, the journey. You can finish third in your group and of course still qualify. 4 people who are finishing third in their groups are going to qualify.
I mean, yeah. Well,
I can't.
When Portugal won it 8 years ago, they finished third in their group as
Yeah,
well.
I can't get over it.
Mm.
I just don't know why they don't have like eight groups and top 2 qualify, and that's your 16. Or
Yeah,
you do a last 16 and quarterfinal. All this, because it just adds to like people. This is where football goes wrong because in the past, maybe not in your era, boys, but certainly in mine, in the past, there was a lot of like match fixing and teams not going out for the third game because they didn't want to concede goals because they would have stayed, and all this. That's why they changed. I don't know how long ago it was, but they changed to all third round matches in a group stage were kicking off at the same time in the same group. So your 2 games at the end, like it's a 5 or 8 o'clock for the first couple of games, but on the last game in the group stages, both matches kick off at the same time, so they don't try and sort of go easy or go hard or play for a draw. But yeah, I think 2 France, 1 England. Let's have an England-France final.
Yeah, no, that's I'll probably say that's highly probable. If it's not them two, then the only other team I sort of see is Portugal with their depth as
I
well.
agree.
I think the winner surely is going to be one of them three. Like if you told me right now it's not going to be one of them three winning it, I'm stunned to be honest.
I think dark horse wise, I think it's Portugal. I think no one really expects Portugal to win it. I think they have an all round team as well, similar to England. But I think it's just I don't know. I think
I sort of kind of agree, but I could look really silly within like the next 3 hours because my dark horse is Germany.
Yeah, that's mine. I put Portugal,
I
England,
just think
France as the favorites.
host nation, the fans get behind it. If they do well in their group, I think that they're a tournament team. They're a tournament team, Germany. I know recently they haven't been playing well. They've had a lot of changes and all that, but I can't. If I've got to look beyond England, for me it's Germany. I know France are good. I know Portugal. But I just only hope it's not going to be a dark horse and some team like Slovenia or Serbia have a good tournament and they win it. You know what I mean?
I'm all for it, by the way. I love it.
Yeah, because
Denmark won it in I think it was 92.
92, yeah. I
They
seen
weren't
the
even in the
documentary
tournament.
and all.
They weren't even in the tournament. They were late
Yeah,
entries because there was
the
unfortunately
politics
a
and
war
Conflict
going
of
on in some
interest.
other
the
country or
Yugoslavia or
something.
something like that. Yugoslavia, innit?
There's a conflict of interest with Yugoslavia.
I was too young to see Greece win it in '04. So in my lifetime, I need to see
Peter
an upset.
Schmeichel was in goal.
Yeah,
Jensen scored, who used to play for Arsenal or Weldy. They had a really good
yeah.
team,
I
Denmark.
need
They
to
weren't
see.
even qualified. They weren't even in it until like a week or two before.
Yeah, I need
And
to
then they
see an
went on a
underdog
run.
win. I need to see an underdog win a tournament. Realistically, I don't think it's going to be the World Cup because you got the Brazils, the Argentinas. That's just
No. You can't.
further
You can't get
obstacle.
an
So
underdog winning the
it,
World Cup.
yeah. So it
That
needs
just
to be
makes
the
a
Euros.
mockery of it.
I just want to
But
see
who
one
is
in my
your? Like,
lifetime.
would you say Holland are an underdog? They're not really an underdog. Maybe something like
No,
Switzerland or
yeah, no. I want to
Denmark.
see one of the Greece equivalent of '04. It has to be can't be someone that's won a tournament before. I need it to be the Slovenias or the Slovakias, one of them,
Mm.
Czech Republic even. Like I feel like out of the
Czech
underdogs, those
Republic
sort
have
of
got some
Eastern
good
European teams,
players, not
Czech
just the
Republic
West
seem to
Ham
be
players.
Czech
I
Republic.
mean, if anything like last tournament, if Patrick Schick shines again, why not?
Yeah, like if you go through like the sort of the generations, Czech Republic, they've had like some like the Nedveds, like Thomas Rosicki's, they've had some like ballers throughout, but
Oh,
they've not.
in the Euros '96, they
Mhm.
scored some unbelievable goals
Yeah. Like
for the Czech
if you had an
Republic.
all-time Czech Republic team, but they've not quite had the whole team sort of playing in the same era. They've had certain just
Mm.
world-class
Mm.
potential talent sort of here and there. But Ross, sticking with you, player of the tournament.
Is that who we think or who we want?
No, who you think? Who you think will be?
Okay.
Who I want, I'll be honest, there's not really much for me if I wanted on a personal level, if I'm thinking more Man United wise, but who I think it would be, I mean, it might be a boring answer, but I think Kane. I think I forgot to talk about Kane previously, but he needs to win something. He failed massively. He underachieved massively with Bayern. That was it. That was
I
the
had him down as one or two I was going to mention, but I'm glad you've mentioned him the
it's a
same
thing where you scored this many goals, do it again and take England through as a captain as well. I think
And also, there's a bizarre reason that I think you may have mentioned this for Sentham as well, but there's a bizarre reason as well. He's been playing in Germany and the tournaments in Germany. And I think that's going to up his level to an extra 10, 15, even 20%. Because he knows, like, he's used to the environment in the team hotel. He'd be used to, do you know what I mean? He's loved that there in Germany. He's like, do you know what I mean? I just think that will give him that extra 10, 20% for when he plays for England.
yeah, we've
Yes.
spoken about host advantage, but yeah, as Mr. Desmond said, Kane is a player advantage, whether he's German is up to scratch or not, but he can get into the heads. He can shit house if he needs to. So he's familiar. It's kind of home to him now.
Yeah,
No,
no,
yeah,
certain
good. Yeah.
intangibles like that. Yeah, that they're worth mentioning. I'll go next. So bearing in mind I've picked France as my winners, I'm gonna stick with Mbappe. I think he's gonna be player of the tournament. Yeah, nothing more to say. James.
All right, okay. Can I ask you a question on that then?
Yes.
What does he have to do to be the player of the tournament then?
Just do what he
Because
does.
he's a world-class player as it is,
Yeah.
but is it enough for him just being on the pitch for you? Or are you saying he's got to like be top goal scorer,
Like
score incredibly
goes.
goals,
No. So maybe as long as
win
even
the title? What's
yeah.
he got to do?
So France win the win the Euros, and even if he's not a top scorer in the tournament, like I'm not even if he don't need to score 8 goals like he did in the last World Cup, if he scores 5 goals in the tournament with a couple of assists and he plays a integral part of France going on to win it, then I think that'll be enough. Like,
That's the key, what you just said, that phrase there, that integral part, because
yeah,
what makes a player of the tournament? Can a player of the tournament only be someone that gets to the final? Or can it be someone that carries their team almost to the quarterfinals, get in the semi-final and then get knocked out?
yeah,
Can they
no,
still be player of the tournament?
I think
So it depends on how you have it and what you say, because like there's players like Mbappe, not so much Kane, but people like him, Bellingham, that need to be player of the tournament because of the profile. They need to be. So
yeah,
I'm looking outside of the box. I agree with you, Sion. If he has to play at a tournament, that's good for France and that's good for him. But they need it more. Like, do you know what I mean? They need it to have that high profile. So, like,
yeah,
I'm looking outside of the box of sort of like, players in the England squad that I think that could shine. Like Declan Rice could have, as I'm a West Ham fan,
yeah.
it pains me, but he could be a player of the tournament.
Mm.
The way he's been playing, the way everyone talks about him. If England do well and get to the semis, maybe the final, maybe win it, why can't he be given player of the tournament? But I bet you bottom dollar he won't be. It'd be Bellingham or it'd be,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
The
And that's
Canes and
what I don't like player of the tournament because it's
yeah, yeah.
always like,
For me personally, in terms of like reaching the final, I would say back 2018, for example, even if Croatia went out to England in the semis, I still would have given it to Modric for me player of the tournament, even if they
yeah, but
did get
that's
final.
right. I think, yeah, but if he hadn't have gone to the final, would he have been even considered for it?
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah. So yeah, my pick's Mbappe. James, yours.
Well, I have to stick with sort of like who I'm selecting to get to the final, as in England. So I'm looking at an England player. I think Jude, he needs to have a good tournament. He needs to back up his season that he's had in Madrid. He needs to back that up and he needs to take control of games a bit more. I need him to
Yeah, I
dominate
agree.
games a bit more, not just be in and out. If he wants
Yeah,
to be world class and be known as world class in the between now and the next 5 years and become like a Messi or an Mbappe, he needs to control the game more and he needs to dominate the game more. He doesn't do that enough for me at the moment, but when he does, he's brilliant. Declan Rice, another one. I've mentioned Declan Rice. He needs to sort of like have a tournament that he's been playing, but needs to be recognised. Like he was taken off in the final against Italy, I think. They ain't going to do that again. They
no
won't do
chance.
that
Yeah,
again.
no chance. It's
I think he was
impossible. Yeah.
taken off and bought on Henderson or something stupid like
You
that.
know what?
But I'm
I
looking. I've
like
written down a few. I've written down a few little names. If you want like outside sort of names of people, obviously there's Rodri for Spain. He could be like, he could carry Spain a bit. You've got sort of Modric still for Croatia, but I think they're an old aging team. Poland, Lewandowski, you know. But I think you're right. If whoever gets to the final, so it's going to be Mbappe. Kane is a good shout, but for me, if you ask me to push it, it'd be Rice or Bellingham.
With Jude, I like the point raised because with me for Jude, I feel like without the goals and assists, obviously in terms of like affecting games, I feel like Jude has to score or assist for him to like get man of the match, for example. Whereas you look at Messi, he don't need a goal or assist to get man of the match. He can be clearly the best player on the pitch without even scoring. So, and obviously Jude, there's sort of pressure on him, the Ballon d'Or race, I guess. Him and Vinny seem to be the sort of two front runners for it. So it could well
Yeah, and
come
I
down.
think that's all. That's also we've got to bear in mind, dear lads, that like you two are even older than both of them players, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah.
They're young players. They're young players. That
Yeah,
Vinny and
there's pressure on them.
Bellingham. The pressure is
Mm-hmm.
immense.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And like you remember how old's Messi now? How old's Ronaldo? Ronaldo's about 38.
Messi's
37,
Messi's 37.
30
Yeah,
So
no,
like
Messi's
you
turning
look back to
37
them
in a
when
couple of days.
when they were like
Ronaldo
18, 19,
39.
20, 21, they were outstanding players then, but they weren't the high profile social media, big football. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're talking about Ballon d'Ors and player of the tournaments for people like Jude Bellingham. How old
Yeah.
is he?
Yeah,
Do you
he's
know what
like
I mean?
20,
20.
20. I think Jude's 20 and
He's
Vinny,
20
I
and
think
he's 22.
Vinny's like 22 or something. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know,
And
they could be sat either side of me as I'm in the middle of my Zoom call here talking to me, and you two could be the world famous footballers. I could be saying Rosampton could be player of the tournament. You know?
Sticking with James, young player of the tournament. And I think the category for this, it goes up to 22 years old. That's the category
See,
for it.
this is where my knowledge of the real young up and coming players are pretty weak, really.
Jude fits into that.
Yeah, Jude, yeah, but I don't want to be boring. I don't want to be
Yeah.
sort of like it's got it
Personally,
depends.
I
Like,
wouldn't
again,
count Jude just based off the season. You don't win a treble and be classed under.
you want someone who's a young player that's come out from nowhere. You know,
Yes,
like your Man United guy, your Man United girl.
You know
yes.
who's the guy? You know who's
Crystal
the guy?
Palace.
Yamal.
Crystal
You see,
Palace, Esse.
I think Lamine
Yamal,
Yamal, yeah.
Spain. Yamal's the guy,
Yes.
man. Yamal, man. Well, that guy's a
Esse
baller, man.
could be
16.
like, the Palace player could be a good, like, do you know what I mean? That's your young player of the tournament. You don't want to be repeating yourself. You want a young player that's known. But I don't know enough young players in like the Spain team, the French team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm
You
either good.
know,
It's tough. It's tough. The two names for me is Yamal and it's Musiala for me. I'll give it to Musiala, but Yamal, that's the guy, man. That guy's a baller, man. But I'll give it to Musiala for young player of the tournament. I think he's got his ball control, the way he like manipulates the ball and stuff. I think he's very technical and he sort of plays for me well beyond his years, to be honest. Very, very tidy footballer and very accomplished. So I'm gonna go for Jamal Musiala, and he could have been playing for England as well, by the way, in this tournament. But yeah, he's going to be my young player of the tournament. Razanthan?
Yeah, so Sion kind of mentioned that. I'm gonna give it to Yamin Lamau purely because I think he's gonna carry Spain at such a young age more than the Cole Palmers, the Mainus, the Musialas. I think he will have a bigger impact for his nation than I think any of the other youngsters. And I think obviously there is a lot of hype around him. We saw how he's performing and shining and thriving in a poor Barca side. So he has the confidence, he has the maturity. So I think this will be a big tournament for him. Obviously, this is his big first international tournament. So I think he will deserve it as long as he just keeps doing what he does. And Spain get to at least the quarters.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I would say the game of the group stages, surely Spain, Italy, surely.
I think, yeah.
That must be the
I
game.
was
That's the only
looking, I
sort
was
of
looking.
heavyweights.
Spain
That's the only sort of
and
heavyweight
Croatia as
clash
well.
in the group stage. Yeah, Spain, Croatia, but
That
Spain,
group
Italy.
stage,
Are Spain,
that
are
group
Spain,
You know,
Italy?
I think the Czech Republic will sort of, Portugal, Czech Republic would be a good game.
Spain, Italy
Yeah.
seems to. That's the one heavyweight clash. I can't miss that one from the group stages at least. I think they are they
Holland
the
and
only two.
France. Holland and France.
Yeah,
In
Holland,
terms,
France,
in
and
terms of
I
in
think
terms of groups, Group B is clear. Spain, Italy, Croatia,
Croatia, Albania.
and
Yeah,
Albania. Even Albania,
yeah.
you can't even just write them off.
No,
That's
no,
a
yeah.
tough one. That's a tough group, isn't it?
One sort of
One big club won't
nation.
qualify
One
unless
big
they
nation is
finish
going
third.
out. Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
highest scorers. But I think there'd be too many draws. So I
Who
don't
do you
think they'll
think's
have
going out from
points.
that group, or who do we think out of Spain, Italy, Croatia? Who do you think's finishing third? Well, assuming if Albania finish bottom, obviously
Italy.
they
I
might
think
not.
Italy.
Italy.
Italy for me as well.
Italy for
Italy for me as
me.
well. Yeah. Yeah,
They'll be
same.
heavily relying on the third place.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think they might do themselves out because they might draw too many. So is it done the third place done on the most points? So if you draw 3 games, that's good. You're third. You've only got 3
Yeah.
points. You only need one other team and another. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
It's better you win. Better you win one, draw one, lose one. To go through as a third place
Oh,
team, you need 4
100%. You might
points.
as
You
well
need
lose
minimum
one.
4 points. You need
You've
minimum
got to
4
lose
points.
one.
There's
and
going to
win
be
one and
loads of
I
draw.
mean, if we're being honest, we also what happened at the AFCON this year as well. Almost 2 points was enough of obviously the caliber and the
Oh,
quality.
that AFCON was ridiculous because you were like, you didn't know right until like practically the final who was in the last group knockout stage. That's how
Ghana
poor
blew
that
it,
was.
innit? Ghana blew
One
it.
minute you thought this team was out, and the next minute I'm watching them in the knockout stage. I'm thinking, I thought you got knocked out.
Yeah,
And because
Ghana
someone
were
had
through.
scored last minute and this and this, I'm like,
Ghana were through in like the 92nd minute or something like that and conceded 2.
this is why I don't like it. This is why I don't like it.
I love it. I love it. Just seeing clubs that were, I think it was a team that was fourth. I think it was Zimbabwe or Mozambique. They had no chance of qualifying and they just produced that.
But I think that's the only Group B, that's going to give us a possibility of a good team finishing third, and they may have to not qualify or they may just scrape through. You know, because the other groups, I think you can easily pick the top 2 easily, in my opinion. The Group D is a bit dodgy: Poland, Holland, France, and Austria. But
Yeah,
I've got a clear
apparently
2
Austria. Apparently, I haven't watched Austria, but I've heard good things about Austria. Ralph Ragnick managing them. Apparently, they play good football, but I wouldn't know. It's just what I've heard.
Any more? What's the other questions?
We've got
we've got the Scotland Germany game in an hour, and we've got to be moving. Come on.
Yeah. Golden Boot winner next.
Oh,
and for this one,
I've got first. Yours is Mbappe, so yours is easy.
No. This is where it's not Mbappe. So basically, I've looked at sort of the fixtures they've got in the group stages, and I'm sort of banking on them. They're not going to win it. Well, I don't think they will, but reaching the quarterfinal, Ukraine, who they got? Ukraine, Slovenia, and someone else. Romelu Lukaku, man. This is where, Lukaku, group stages of tournaments, he always gets his braces. Like, he finishes the group stage with about 5 goals, and then you'll probably get 1 goal in the knockout stage.
I can't argue that, actually.
Have you wait, hold on, give me a sec. Yeah, I looked. You know when Rosanfon we were doing the predictions, I was like, wait, why do Belgium? Wait, look, let me see their 3 games. Their 3 games are Slovakia.
Slovakia and Romania.
Yeah. Romania, Slovakia, Ukraine. Is it Romania?
I've got them scoring 7 goals in the group stage.
I've got 4-0 Belgium against Romania, 3-0 against Slovakia, and the last game I think they're gonna rest players. So I think I went like 2-1 to Belgium against Ukraine because they'll be through. And I'm expecting Lukaku to feast in the group stages with like 4 or 5 goals. Because to win the Golden Boot, it's not who gets the knockout stage goals. You probably get 1 or 2 in the knockout stage, but I think the group stage will see him win a
Golden Boot. The group stage makes your Golden Boot because knockout, you don't get many games that are like
goals, loads of goals like that. So yeah, Romelu Lukaku.
Yeah, I can't dispute it. I'll go along with you, Sion, then Lukaku. Because I think you've made a good case, and I forgot about him.
I think Lukaku's a good shout, but it's just a very fugazi player. I just can't bank on it.
Yeah.
I know he's been on and off.
Is he going back to Chelsea? Just off the record, off the topic. Is he going back to Chelsea?
Nah. They've said that like 100%. They're just trying to get like a buyer for him.
Okay, sorry for Sam from Gordon. Who else you got in mind?
Again, I'm gonna go for someone like niche and not mainstream. I'm gonna go Patrick Schick. They've got not a relatively easy group stage. The only tough one I believe is Portugal. The rest of the one in their group is Georgia and Turkey. Obviously, Georgia I know nothing about, so I'm just going to automatically write them off. Apologies to any Georgia fans. So I'm going to Schick, and then obviously Schick.
We're lucky if we've got any fans watching. To be fair, but anyway,
Georgia. Yeah, if you told me just say Georgia, yeah, Kvaratskhelia, that's it. My knowledge, that's it. It's over after him.
So I think Patrick Schick. I mean, he's been great this season. I know he performs on a consistent basis. He was amazing last tournament. I think he scored the halfway goal against Scotland.
Yeah.
Scored the banger. So I think if I'm going to go outside of the main, Mbappe's, Kane's, Patrick Schick, and as Sion said, it's about the quantity, not about who gets the furthest. So potentially, he could just bag 2 goals in each game.
You can have a hat trick or 4 goals and still go out of the group stage.
You know what happens a lot with Golden Boot winners as well? There'll be one game where they get like a hat trick or 2 free, and they'll end up being like half their goals for the tournament. And then they only need 1 or 2 more, and then all of a sudden you're in the race.
You only need to score 5 to have a chance.
Yeah. 5
respectable.
Because the max is 7 games. The max is 7 games, isn't it? Yeah, because the max is 7 games.
That's right, because you're only going to play a total of 7 games.
Yeah.
That's if you get to the final.
That's why I was
So
stunned when I was stunned at the World Cup. Very rare, like 2 players get beyond 7 goals or like 7+, and obviously Messi and Mbappe both did it. Messi 7 and then Mbappe 8. That was I don't think I've seen that before in
all right, well,
tournament.
Golden Boot.
back in
We'll go
2000.
with them. Look out for Czech Republic and Belgium for lots of goals.
Yep. And then last thing before we just briefly talk about Germany Scotland, the first game of the tournament. Razamfan, you can talk us through the game that we're going to be playing throughout this tournament, the competition.
So between the three of us, we're doing this sort of, I guess, betting situation where for each game, at least in the group
Yeah,
stage,
none of us are
we'll put,
professional footballers, so we're allowed to bet. Yeah, just putting that.
Oh
out,
yeah,
in case-
yeah.
In
for
case
each
some people
game,
are thinking like, is Datsun still a professional footballer?
sorry,
That's thinking like, oh, that's an Paqueta are betting brothers.
We don't include the ditch. We don't include the ditch here on a Tuesday
Hey,
night.
nah.
They're
You
not
have to,
professional at all.
no, you
They're
have to,
just playing in
no.
some tin pot
The only
league
you have to
and
clarify
glory
that
hunters
because
that can
you have
never
to
win it.
clarify that
Anyway,
because
sorry, Mr. from go on.
No.
you have to clarify that before they see the West Ham shirt in the background, be like, see him and Paqueta doing something or something like that. That's why you have to clarify that. Hey, Robert Snodgrass, yeah.
Snodgrass.
The
Out of all
sign
the
Snodgrass.
players, Snodgrass. Oh,
The
interesting.
sign, that's why, because I got it as a present. I don't know if it's probably faded a bit, but
I can see
No,
something there. Yeah, I can see, yeah.
Yeah, he signed it. He signed it, so it's just there.
no worries.
Who else? Got loads of bits and pieces on my desk.
Mm.
I won't
Go
go into
on, Ross. Go on, Ross.
So for the Euros, there's £100 on the line. The way it's broken down is there's 36 group stage games, and for each game we've been putting down £1, and the winner gets the pound, and we determine it by the correct outcome. So between the three of us, we all predicted it in. We've all sent in our group stage games. So there's £36 on the line for the group stage. Then this is where the stakes get higher and better. So in the round of 16, we're doubling it now. So it's £2, and there's obviously 8 games. So that's £16. Quarterfinal, there's 4 games, but for each game it's worth £4. So it's still £16 throughout to the final. So then that totals up to £100. £6 in the group stage, and then £64 in the remaining latter stages of the knockout. That totals up to £100. Stakes are higher, obviously. The games we predict, we have to be a bit more meticulous and cautious. There's a lot of money in the line, and so that's how it's going. We're not taking into account scores, just literally correct outcome. So it just makes it very simple and easy for us to track. And as I mentioned, at the end of it, £100.
Okay, I've got a question. Go on.
I was going to say I've got a couple of questions. So
Yeah.
can you confirm if no one gets the correct prediction, does the money does it just stay like
Yeah,
we're not
just
going
stay,
like who
yeah.
got close? Right.
It's the same way we all get the correct
Yeah.
outcome, no one gets paid.
Yeah. And when we get to the knockout stage, is it the final score after 90 minutes?
That was my question. That was mine.
Yeah.
So you can still predict a draw. You can still predict a draw in the knockout stage.
No, you have to predict a winner.
So hold on. So let's say, for example, I don't know, the final, England France. Is it the score after 90 minutes or like extra time? Or if England win 2-1 after extra time?
Scores in our results, but I'm saying we want the outcome. So probably from the knockout stages, I'll just get you guys to send in who you think is going to be the winner of the outcome of the draw.
Oh, not the scoreline.
Yeah, so we just put the scoreline.
We'll have a little thing with that. That makes sense.
We might tweak it, but for now,
that was my because I was thinking, imagine it goes to penalties and it's like England 1-1, England 4-2 on penalties. You have to get the penalty score correct as well and all this stuff.
So for now,
we're not
for now it's just correct outcome.
It's too early.
Yeah, but that James asked my question. I was thinking knockout stage is the one I wanted to know. Is it after extra time or 90 minutes?
Because compared to the Premier League, we're dealing with a season, a football season. So obviously there's no winner or there's a potential for draws. However, when it comes to knockout tournaments, there has to be a winner. So it's harder to predict the score and the outcome. So I just stuck to outcomes for now. If necessary, we might tweak it a bit for correct score lines.
No, it sounds good. It sounds good. So what have we predicted for tonight's game, boys?
I've gone.
I need to check mine. Mine's all written out.
I've gone the same. I think we've both gone 2-1 Germany.
Germany 2, Scotland 1. I've gone.
So have I.
Is it?
I guess we're not winning any.
2-1. No, we've all gone the same.
Look, people, you see what they've done, man. See, they copy me, man. They like go with who's the most
Disclaimer:
successful.
everyone's sending the answers 6 on the dot. So
yeah, everyone sent their answers.
We all put in their predictions, and we've done all of them for the group stage.
Every group game predicted.
Already, and the Samsons received them at 6 o'clock. And I think there was only about seconds in between people bleeping there. So
Yeah,
it weren't
yeah,
as
yeah.
if- And there's no way you could have looked at someone else's and had the time to change anything.
They
'Cause they
saw
all
through my
came
phone,
in.
man. They saw someone
It's
hacked
weird.
into my phone.
What's the games on the Saturday? I've got
Saturday,
Hungary,
I believe.
Switzerland.
Hungary,
I've gone
Switzerland.
1-1.
I've gone
See,
2-0
you're copying
Switzerland.
me now.
I set
think
mine
You're
before
copying
you.
me.
What are you talking about? I set mine before
I've
you.
gone 1-1.
I set my
You
scores
said it
before
about 10 seconds before me.
Yeah.
Right. What's the afternoon game? Is that Spain,
Spain,
Croatia?
Croatia. I've gone for a 2-2. I've gone for
Same.
I've gone 3-1
I'm
Spain.
expecting goals galore in that
I've
one.
gone 2-2. Same as was that one.
Right, 3-1. And then there should be one other game.
Italy,
Is that
Albania.
Italy?
Italy,
Oh,
Albania.
I've gone
2-0.
5-1 Italy.
2-0 Italy. 2-0.
I think you guys are being harsh on Albania. I think it's going to be 2-1. I think Italy aren't going to perform as well as we think.
I said 2-0. I didn't go too heavy. I didn't
Are
go
we
too
doing
heavy.
Sunday? Because we got
We
England
could do
on
Sunday as
Sunday.
well. We could do Sunday as well.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah, we'll
let's
go through
do
England, yeah.
Slovenia, Denmark.
2-0 Denmark, I've gone.
I've gone 0-0.
I've gone
First
I've
0-0.
gone 1-0 Denmark.
Ooh.
Is there another game? Is there a 2 o'clock game on this?
Poland against Netherlands.
I went
I've
3-1.
got
3-1 Netherlands.
I went 3-0.
What?
I don't expect
I've
Poland.
gone 2-2 Poland, Netherlands. 2-2. And then England, this is the biggie.
It's first game.
3-0.
2-1.
3-0.
I've gone 3-0 England.
Same.
I've gone 2-1. I don't know. It's first game, obviously, a lot of media tension around Southgate and their recent defeat to Iceland. So
I'm gonna pick out certain other games.
One of the youngsters will come on and score. Like
For
a
England?
Palmer.
it's going to be it has to be
Yeah.
me.
I want it to be Eze, man. Ebrichi Eze. What's it? Spain, Italy. What people gone for that? I'm just picking out certain other games.
Spain, Italy, I've gone for a 3-3 filler.
I've gone 2-1 Spain.
That's not until Thursday next
Yeah.
week.
No, I'm just picking out other group.
Spain, Italy, I've gone 2-1 Spain.
Same. What about the only other one I think was Netherlands, France. The heavyweight games I'm picking out.
Okay, I'm with you now. Netherlands, France. I've gone 2-1 France.
Same. Oh right, this thing's gonna be interesting. Look, I've gone a lot of Datsun's ones are the same as mine. What about the last one is Croatia, Italy. I've gone 2-1 Croatia.
Croatia, Italy, I believe I've gone 2-2. The thing is,
I've gone 2-1 Italy.
Oh, okay.
Can we just do a couple more then?
Yeah.
Can we do Portugal, Czech Republic?
I think I said where is
I've
it?
gone 2-1. I've gone 2-1 Portugal.
Portugal, Czech Republic.
I think I've also gone 2-1. I think that would
I've gone 3-1.
Toughest game.
And as Rasampham said earlier, just in case there's anyone listening from Slovakia, should we do Belgium, Slovakia? I've got
3-0
Belgium.
3-0
Just to
Belgium.
keep our listeners from Slovakia happy. Was that the country you said earlier? I can't remember.
Yeah, they were mentioned. Yeah, they were mentioned.
We may be back on Thursday night before the England game or after the England game because it's a 5 o'clock kickoff on Thursday when we play Denmark. So that might be a good shout to do either one before or after. But there we go.
No,
Anything else, Sion?
No, that's it. We've covered everything.
Now all I can hear is bagpipes in the background. It's Germany, Scotland, ITV, 8 o'clock kickoff, but they've been on the telly since 6:30. I'd love Scotland to win, but I can't see it.
I'd love to see Scotland win.
I would love it, man. But Scotland,
first games are always dodgy.
Just remember, Scotland, yeah. This ain't prime Germany. This ain't prime Neuer, Jerome Boateng when he was up there being one of the world's best centre halves. Kadira,
you could go back there. For...
No. We're just talking like Thomas Muller's obviously now coming towards the end.
Great Beckenbauer.
Schweinsteiger, Bastian Schweinsteiger, just the last German team the last 10 years. So this ain't the old Germany sort of recently that just won the World Cup. So there's hope.
And we're going to, just for all our listeners, if there are people watching,
Philip Lahm.
we've all agreed we're going to donate 20 quid each if there's a goal in every game for the whole tournament to a charity.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good to me.
A goal in every game, not a goal for both teams, just a goal in every
Could be
game.
1-0, yep.
We will donate 60 quid to a local charity.
And on that note...
That won't be the Ditch Football Club.
We're not a charity, man. Nah.
To buy a new striker, yeah?
On that note, thanks everyone for watching. Like, subscribe and share. And we'll see you all again soon.
Come on, England. Come on, England.
Take care.